Peak for our January Today special. And there's a lot of new things we're going to be doing. Most importantly, and my apologies in advance if it kind of gives rise to it selling out prematurely, but this year we've added a fourth flavor to our January Today special. Over the past several years, we've had our most popular flavors chocolate, vanilla, and coffee. Surprisingly to us, when we started analyzing numbers, because we don't feature a fourth flavor, pina colada, only a couple of times a year we mention it. But unbeknownst to us, it had become an enormous reorder favorite. So much so that I suspect it might be among the most popular flavors in January. We've never done this before, and we've also managed to configure it in with the different bundles we have. So as you go into the larger sizes, when we have a 200 or a 300, you're getting 100 sizes combined. So a 200 is two 100 count bottles, 200 100 meal bottles. So you could choose to get chocolate and vanilla, vanilla and coffee, vanilla and pina colada. With the 300, you could do the same thing. You could put together a combination of any of the three flavors that you choose. We even have a 400, and the 400 is only available in one configuration only: vanilla, chocolate, coffee, and pina colada. But in all of those large sizes, you're looking at savings, which is remarkable. You're looking at a little bit over in the 300 or the 400 meal. You're looking at a little over 50 cents a meal. And that doesn't consider that you're also getting our new sweetener, our stevia-based natural non-GMO sweetener, Sucresse. You're also getting our brand new Choco Nuvo that no one has ever tried before, our coffee Choco Nuvo, where we have basically ground up some organic fair trade coffee into our Choco Nuvo, and it is just incredible. And you don't have to worry about caffeine because it has a few milligrams of caffeine, but it has the true flavor of coffee. It has a crunchy texture. So it's amazing. So I think we might have underplanned this Today special. I hope I'm incorrect, but as much as we planned, I don't think we're going to be able to keep up with the demand because of the new pina colada and also the opportunity to try our new Choco Nuvo, which is the most delicious chocolate in the world that also lowers cholesterol, lowers your total and LDL cholesterol. So it's exciting, and the savings is incredible. If you're looking at the 400 meal where you're getting 100 count of each bottle, 400 meals together. Again, you're looking at a little bit over 50 cents a meal, but then you have to also consider the value of the chocolate and also consider the value of the sweetener. So you're probably looking at something closer to 30 cents a meal. And when I talk about it at midnight, you'll see just how nutritious every meal is, that it is without question the best tasting meal replacement in the world. And that's one thing you see consistently throughout the reviews, that it's almost any food that you see on the internet. It typically, if it's a great tasting food, it's going to have 3.5 stars or so, because that's the best you can hope for, because taste is not universal. We all have our own unique taste buds and our own unique taste experience and perceptions. But when it comes to Secure, it's pretty universal, the response to the flavor in Secure. And when I first rolled out Secure almost 30 years ago, the response wasn't the same. I quickly learned that no matter how much I invested in the science making a product that's going to support weight loss, it doesn't matter unless I invest more in the flavor. That's really where, as they say, the rubber meets the road. That's really where the experience is, because you will only benefit in terms of weight loss if you use a product consistently, and you'll only use a product consistently if it tastes great. So again, I had to become as focused on flavor and taste as I was in the science and technology of supporting your weight loss. And that's when this product finally became an enormous success, a customer pick. So whether it's our vanilla, our chocolate, which my blueprint for making these products, I didn't think I needed to reinvent the wheel. I went and looked at the most delicious shakes that you could find at any fast food restaurant or any of the coffee places. That was my blueprint. And because we were sparing no expense in investing in flavor, that's what we went after, and that's where we succeeded. So you're talking about something that's basically barely 60 calories. that's delivering you a flavor that's rich, the texture that's real in your mouth. So it really is satisfying. So whether it's vanilla or chocolate, which tastes like melted chocolate ice cream or a delicious chocolate shake, what I love about the vanilla, it's universal. You could put it in a green drink, a veggie drink. You can mix it with any fruits at home, as we do with bananas or berries. So it's just, the vanilla is wonderfully universal. The chocolate for many of us is the same. The coffee is a wonderful thing to start the day. But if you're someone who's caffeine sensitive, our Coffee Secure uses real coffee, so it contains real caffeine. So it's something you need, that's something you need to be aware of. And of course, I even salivate thinking about it, our pina colada. So that's something that is our surprise, recently most popular reorder flavor. It's coconut, it's pineapple, it's real pina colada. You'll feel like you're on a holiday every time you enjoy it. I encourage you to read the reviews. I'll go through some of the reviews on air. But our pina colada is amazing. And of course, in the small sizes, you can get whatever flavor you want, all the way up to even the 300 count. You could choose to get all vanilla, all coffee, all chocolate, all pina colada. So you could choose all one flavor. Of course, once you get to the 200 flavor, you have an option of getting 2 different flavors. Or, as I said before, in the 200, you can get all one flavor. The same with the 300. You can get 3 different flavors, and you could choose any one of the 4 to make up those 3 different flavors. Or you could go all one flavor if you have one that's just a favorite in the 300. And of course, the 400, only one configuration. In the 400, it's just one of each. So 100 count of 100 meals of vanilla, 100 meals of chocolate, 100 meals of coffee, and 100 meals of pina colada. That's our 400. And again, you're talking about pennies a meal. It's the most affordable this has ever been, and especially if you consider the value of the chocolate you're getting and the value of the sweetener you're getting. When you do that calculation, it's not about 50 cents a meal. It really starts becoming around 30 cents or so a meal. And remember, these are nutritious meals. These are rich in protein. These really use the science and technology to support your weight loss goals. As many reviews as you could find on how delicious these are, you'll find just as many reviews praising it in terms of successful weight loss and successful weight management. It truly is like no other meal replacement in the world. It's the lowest in calories, but despite how much I focused on making it the lowest in calories in the science of weight loss, I focused as much or perhaps more on flavor, because without flavor, and I had already proven this, without flavor, this product was a failure. If you wanted to deal with the taste, you'd use it and you'd lose weight. But who wants to make weight loss even more of a miserable process than it already is? So I had to invest in flavor, and that took years. And for those of you who watched this product, it took many, many years. But we succeeded, and that investment in flavor is reflected in the reviews. So I encourage you to read the reviews. Of course, everything we offer comes with a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. There's no quicker product to know whether you're going to send it back or not than Secure, because it's all about the flavor. And when you open these bottles, you could open these bottles blindfolded, and they could be 3 or 4 feet away from your nose, and you can tell whether it's chocolate, whether it's vanilla, whether it's coffee, or whether it's pina colada. That's how rich, that's how much we've invested in the flavor. It's so rich and powerful that even a dry powder, when you open it and it's several feet away from you, when I'm on set and the host, whoever I'm on with, whether it's Colleen or Shannon or Adam, they open a bottle, I can tell what bottle they opened even though I'm 10 feet away from them. So that's our investment in flavor. That's our investment in your experience. And that's our investment in your success. Because the only meal replacement that's going to be successful, and I could say this with over 30 years of experience, and we had just as intelligent a science of our product 30 plus years ago as we do today, but people weren't as successful using it because we didn't make the investment in flavor. And unless the investment is made in flavor, we just get sick and tired of a process that's not pleasant. So weight loss, as I said before, it's challenging enough. Our blueprint is to eat as much as we can whenever we can. That's our blueprint. So the only way we're going to lose weight and deal with that blueprint is if we're doing something that at least satisfies that need to feel satisfied, sated. That's what we need. We need to feel as though we're consuming something that's satisfying not just our need to eat and put something in our belly and our mouth, but really an opportunity to feel as though we've been enjoyably satisfied. And that's what Secure is all about. And of course, I'll focus on the vitamins and minerals as well. It's like a mini multivitamin, multimineral. When you look at the nutrition content, we use the same technically superior forms of vitamins and minerals that we use in our Essential One multivitamin. So there's truly nothing else like it in the world. But it's a long presentation. There's so much unique science, and I'll talk about that at midnight and throughout the day. Just this might be, you don't hear me saying this in these recorded little spots. I do these sneak peeks. I generally never talk about the fact that it might not last through the day. This was a difficult one to balance because of all the sizes and all the different flavor options, but I think pina colada is just going to be difficult for us to keep up with. As much as chocolate and vanilla and coffee used to be in the past, but we've learned, I think pina colada, this is a new learning curve that we're on. But also, we have another Today Special, because January is not just a time when so many of us target weight loss or weight management.